What is up, guys? What is up? How's it going? My name's Jacqueline. We're here. We're actually here to just kind of fool around. We're not really here to do anything really that special today. All the kids are in bed. Both of the girlfriends are asleep. I didn't really feel like watching an episode of Naruto today. I'm not on schedule to watch One Piece. All my stuff is handled. I already recorded my video for today. I played Pokemon. And it's time to play a second game today. It's time to just have a little bit of fun. I handled all my business. Now it's time for play. Even though I played earlier. But you know what I mean. But I really didn't feel like... because both of the games that I'm playing right now are turn-based RPGs. And, What did I stop playing? What did I stop playing to make way for Final Fantasy II? What game did I beat? What game did I beat? Why can't I think of what game that I had just played? Hold on. Now I'm tweaking. Now I gotta check it out. 1 second. Okay, that's what it was. It was Metroid 2. That's what I had played before I started Final Fantasy II. So, I mean, but that was a relatively short playthrough, even though I played it through twice. That was a pretty short playthrough, and before that, in its place, was fucking Breath of Fire. So, needless to say, I have been doing a lot of turn-based RPG. On Saturdays right now is both Final Fantasy Mystic Quest and Fire Emblem 1, Shadow Dragon and the Blade of Light. So, basically everything I'm doing is lately has been turn-based for the last few weeks. So yeah, I think it's time. I think it's just time to play a little something else. Hope everyone's doing well. Subscribe. Do it. Ooh. I got stuck in a bad gap in the bullets there. Because with a lot of the... Well, it's not even just this game. A lot of games, there was like a limit as to how many like projectiles could be on screen of like a given kind. Or like being fired. So like a lot of times like the regular gun in this, it'll be 3. So as long as there's 3 on the screen, you're not able to shoot anymore. Ooh. Alright. Fuck! As soon as I jumped up, I just realized how much of a bad idea that was. That was a bad idea. Ooh, almost fucked that up. No, I don't want... Alright, I guess I can make do with rapid fire a little bit. It's probably going to be in the title, but it was actually interesting. I was talking with one of my best friends the other day, and we were just kind of talking about, because one of my best friends, she's 6 years younger than me, 5.5, 6 years. Yeah, somewhere around there. 5.5, 6 years younger than I am. And so, she is a generation of gamer after me. But I don't think she was big into gaming when she was little, because she lived in Lithuania and, didn't come to America until she was in like 4th grade-ish or something like that. Wow, I think that was the one I wanted to. Fuckers. But we were talking about, like, how gaming just doesn't feel the same anymore. Like, when did games start to suck? And, obviously, she's going to have a different answer and based on the generation of gaming that she's from. But obviously, so am I, and so is anybody who's older or younger. Like, that's just the nature of it. Like, for me, one of the things, like, as a video game trend that I definitely don't super care for is realism. Like, I really do not care how realistic your game looks. Like, it just doesn't, on its own, isn't something that super impresses me. Like, it can be cool. Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. God damn it, go away, go away, go away, go away, go away. I don't want it. 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 Go away. Go away. I don't want the fire. You're a fucking dick. Fuck! I didn't want it. What I should have done is, if I had to get it, was get it and then die. If I didn't want it that badly. Even though in this boss it's not the fucking worst. But it kind of is the worst. Its circular motion just makes it not very efficient. I don't like it. Maybe some people do. But just like who games are like marketed to and how things are like pushed through and like all the shit now with like all the thing with like, you know, pay to play gaming with a lot of like microtransactions and all the shit, like all of the new trends with gaming, like it's just a different market now. And we were talking about like, when did gaming change? Like for real change. And I think for me, the obvious answer is the generation of the Xbox 360, the PS3, and the Wii. That is... Fuck! I'm missing my inputs. I thought that was on me. I thought he was going to start shooting way before he did. I thought I timed that way better. But for me, the generation of the Wii, the PS3, and the Xbox 360 was the generation that changed gaming. I would say the gaming that, you know, I mean, obviously I call myself a retro gamer, so I'm going to be slightly biased, because, I mean, there's people who, you know, played games in the 80s, you know, before, like, the NES and shit on, like, computers back in the day that, you know, would probably have a different answer than I do. So, like, it's not like what I'm saying is gospel, you know, at all. But, like, for me, what it feels like is, it felt like the GameCube, Xbox, and, the GameCube, Xbox, and PS2. Okay, we're gonna change my controls a little bit. Because, you know, I'm never happy with my controls. Never happy. Because, like, sometimes I'll have them in a spot where, like, it'll feel like it's comfortable and it'll feel like it's good. But you know what? I haven't been playing, NES, I haven't been playing NES, 2D side-scrollers lately. So, nice. Nice. So I'm not, like, super accustomed to where I had my buttons when I was playing, probably, what was it, Mega Man 3? And even then, I think I played Mega Man 3 for... Ooh, fuck you. I think when I played Mega Man 3 for the Game Boy, I think that was, whatchamahoosit. I think that was the last time I played that, like a 2D side-scroller shoot-'em game, run and gun. Even though Mega Man's not really run and gun, it's close enough in the genre for me to feel comfortable. But no, anyway, back to what I was saying. It felt like, now this is in large part, because I mean, the game, I guess the gun I wanted last time was not with that guy. Even though the GameCube financially was kind of seen as a flop. Even though, like, all my friends growing up had fucking GameCubes. Like, I didn't know that system had done so commercially bad until I was older. I never actually would have seen that. Like, I knew it didn't do as good as the other two. Like, that much I knew. That much was plain to me. Alright. So, I mean, with this generation, it was largely due to the PlayStation 2 being the most successful console of all time. Like, you know, this is mostly due to PlayStation, mind you. But I would say that all three of those systems left a mark on gaming fans in general and the landscape of gaming to cause this. Because, you know, largely due to the PS2 being the best selling console of all time. The PS2 was the last system, that was the last generation that felt like it was truly marketed to gamers as a crowd. Because once the PS2 came around and once gaming got more, like, once gaming became less of a niche thing, like, now if you go to, like, if you talk, like, I used to teach kids, you know, teach martial arts. I was a bus driver for a while. Like, I've spent most of my life working at or with or around kids. And I tell you what, man, when I was little, when I was in elementary school, all of elementary school, there were maybe 1, 2, there were maybe, let's see, both of those guys, him, there were maybe a total, not of people that I did talk to about gaming, but in people that I could talk to about gaming. In my entire elementary school, there was maybe 7 people in my elementary school graduating class that I could have talked to gaming about. Nearly 100 kids in my grade, like 30 kids in a class, like in 6th grade, 30 kids per class, 3 classes. Fuck. I knew I messed that one up. Ooh. I had only just paid attention. Alright. Cool. Cool. But yeah, when I was young, there were not that many kids. Like, out of those 7, 5 of them were like friends of mine in elementary school. Like, there were 2 more kids that I probably could have talked to about gaming, but like I wasn't really friends with them, so like I didn't. But there were not a lot of kids that you could talk to about gaming like that when I was growing up. It was a much more niche activity. Because, you know, most of us were pretty much kids that, you know, we got most of our stuff from either older siblings or we ended up getting them from fucking, like, our parents who might have, like, had fun and played them. That was risky for me to do. Jump towards a claw like that. But, like, now you go around and, bro, like, most people you can talk to about gaming to some variety. Even if they just play sports games, like, most people play some type of video game now. And I think, like I said, that all changed around the generation of the PlayStation 2. Because it felt like everything after that was meant to appeal to a more larger, broader audience. The only exception I would say to this for the large part now is with Nintendo. The Wii, I feel like they kind of tried, because of the way that like the Wii motion controls were. I mean, Wii Sports was, obviously it came with it, but like that was a game that like people would also buy, and like people played Wii Sports. Like that was not an unpopular game. I mean, fuck, one of my grandmothers who like, her husband was the reason why I play all the games that I do. She would have never touched video games when I was a little kid. But I tell you what, Wii bowling? My little old fucking Mexican grandmother, she picked that shit up. She picked that shit up real quick. So I mean, like, even the Wii, like, the way that its controls were, it was meant to appeal to a bigger audience of people than what it was meant to appeal to before. I mean, that's why the Wii also, it was generally a machine targeted mainly for younger children, mostly. But that's why it had so many bullshit fucking Barbie games and this, that, and the other, and games that are like really, kind of dumb in retrospect. But like, it was all in a push for them to appeal to that larger audience. With the Wii, it didn't work exactly in the way that they wanted entirely. It kind of worked out a little differently. Cool. Oh boy. Good thing that's going to get cut out. Fuck! And I'm missing. Fuck, man, I don't know why I'm misjudging where they're gonna be fucking at. And I'm pushing my finger way too low for the jump button a lot of times, which is throwing me off. Bigly. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no. You'll get me, but not with that fucking trap. I saw that one coming. But like, yeah, no, even then, like, Nintendo had like an aim of trying to appeal to a more broad swath of gamers. It didn't, like I said, it didn't quite work the way they wanted. But like, it was an attempt. And you could see with their decisions on the Wii U and the Switch. Messed up. I am not good with these fucking controls, I tell you what. I'm pushing all my fingers too low. Alright. Let's try this one more time. See what we can do here for one more round. Throw that down a little bit. Throw this down. Throw that down. Alright. We've done the thing. Hopefully that's not too... Okay, alright. Alright, almost. Oop. Die. Cool. Let's not fucking gamble here. One more little thing. Booyah. You're not going to be able to see me fucking around with that, but, just know that we'll see how well this works. But, I would say that, like, Nintendo's success now with the Switch is a little bit different. It's more because I think they cornered a market, because where Nintendo was always successful as a company was its mobile gaming, handheld gaming. I mean, what was considered mobile gaming back in the old days. But, like, it didn't matter what system tried to compete. Bro, nothing ever competed with the DS, with the Game Boys. Like, Nintendo ruled that market. So it makes sense for them to kind of try and use their console, to almost, to almost, like, kind of capitalize on that market a little bit. Combine its handheld gaming and its console gaming. Makes it logical move. So I think that, you know, their success with the Switch has been a little different than, you know, what the PlayStation success is. The PlayStation success is just by being a machine that appeals to the biggest swath of gamers. It appeals to most of their interests. It's got the games that most people want to play. Nintendo kind of saw its unsuccess with the Wii U, because the Wii U was kind of trending in that idea, but it wasn't quite fully realized. Actually, what's funny is, like, me and a lot of my friends with the Wii U were all the same. Like, we were all like, there were games on it that were, like, cool, but, like, me and a bunch of other people were like, it looks alright. I'll probably pick one up when a Zelda game comes out, though. And, bro, they didn't come out with, like, a non-fucking remake Zelda until Breath of the Wild, which could have just been bought on the Switch at that point. Like, L maneuver on Nintendo's part for that. Because, like, I know more than enough people that were actually, like, considering, like, maybe one day I'll check it out. But we're legit waiting for that Zelda game, because everybody knows that when Nintendo stops playing around and they bust out the Zelda, it's go time on any machine. But, you know, the majority of gaming now just doesn't appeal to the most variety of gamers. It's why, you know, so many people, like, the way you knew gaming was changing was when Halo 5 was coming out. And the thing that most people, the biggest news about it was that there wasn't going to be split screen co-op. And it genuinely, like, that was like a long ass time ago. Like, that was almost 10 years ago now, I think. And that was still, like, I remember when that was announced, I was genuinely surprised at how many people didn't care. They were like, I don't really play, like, split screen anyway, so whatever. And, like, I had to sit there and think, like, wow, the interests of, like, where gamers are going is much different. Like, I had already known the trend to, like, multiplayer games and online games. But, like, now, like, not even story games did people, like, care about playing, like, with each other. In a lot of, like, the big majority circles of, like, these communities. And that was a shock to me. So, you know, there's been a whole bunch of steps that have gotten us to the way here. Like, for sure. It's never been one thing that kind of changed everything. You know, that's generally not how anything works. But the Wii, the PS3, and the 360 were the first generation. Was the first generation that really appealed to gamers as, like, an en masse fucking demographic. Fuck! The second time I did that, I forgot to let go of the down button, so instead of jumping, I end up dropping through the platform. I would have died if that didn't get shot, though, because I was above a spot where I don't think there was a platform underneath me. Oh, no! We're not doing that. Yeah. Now, it's funny, though, because, like I said, the difference between me and, my best friend is, because she comes from a next generation of gamers, a slightly younger generation of gamers. For her, she said that it was the next generation, that it was the PS4, the Wii U, the Xbone. What was even, one second? Yeah, for my best friend, they considered it like the generation of like the Xbone, the Wii U, and the PS4. Because at very least, she was like, because when I made my argument on when I think it happened, because of like how popular the PS2 was and how, ooh, that was nice. And how much of an appeal gaming was starting to have at that point. Wow. She didn't necessarily disagree with my take. Only thing that she protested was like, yeah, but I think at least the Wii 360 PS3 generation still had a good amount of like games that still fulfilled like what her ideal of gaming would be. And I will say that like definitely that generation of machine had more games that I was interested in playing. Like honestly, aside from Nintendo, aside from some games that I want to like get for the Switch inevitably, like, and with Nintendo, just because I've always grown up on Nintendo, so I'm really attached to a lot of their IPs. Because they kind of, other than like, fuck, I went too far. Like, I can't think of like really any games on like a PS5 or the Series X or Series S or both of them. I don't know if they're the same thing. I don't know. I don't know how the Xbox new console thing is going. I cannot believe myself. Amazing. But like other than like maybe some other like big name like IPs like God of War, I'd play me some shit out of the new God of War. Like that I would do. But like the amount of new games that I would play now on other consoles, like I just don't take an interest in most other game series anymore. And I don't know if it's just the fact that I'm still like a Nintendo kid from my youth. Like, I don't know if that's the thing, or it's more just like I'm sure Nintendo has been guilty of like microtransactions and doing bullshit here like this or that when I'm not paying attention, especially because, like I said, even on the Switch I don't play a lot of games, so I'm sure that's still the case. I'm sure Nintendo falls in certain places, but what I have at least respected is that, in the attempt with the Wii, with its controllers and how they wanted to do things, what I have appreciated is that after the GameCube didn't work for them, it seems like they have been much more satisfied with doing what they wanted as a company and not really trying to like follow trends and shit. And that, I think, was a really good move. I think that was an excellent move. Like I said, I think the Switch has been popular enough, mainly because it's combining with handheld gaming. Because, like I said, that's a market that they ruled with an iron fist. Like the PSP, compared to other handheld systems that came out over the time, the PSP had a good run. It made a decent run for its money, by comparison, for sure. But it's I don't want to say gaming sucks now, because like I'm sure if I got interested and started having money enough to buy games and try games, I'm sure there's plenty of games that I would like. But the problem is a lot of the new games that I do seem to like and take more of an interest in are either games with like a retro aesthetic or are like the continuations of older series. You know, I mean, like, I don't really like the Dark Souls, the From Software games, because I think they're all very boring and very repetitive, and I don't really care for their worlds that much. Sekiro, just because of its more dynamic nature, I think is a much better pass. But at very least, like, games like Dark Souls are at least made with like an older school mindset of like, hey, be ready to die. I mean, like, look at me play this game. Now, if I had a controller, ooh, I'd be schooling this shit. I don't think I'd be beating it, but I'd be at least getting to like stage 5 probably consistently. But, you know, there's a lot of these old games where it's like you're gonna die a lot. You know, I stopped playing it and uploading it because, like, for a while I just wasn't finding time, and it's not like anybody cared enough to watch it as a series. But I've been playing it a little bit on my own still, is, you know, Blaster Master. Like, that's a game where it's like, listen, have fun. It's rough out here. This is gonna hurt you. It's gonna hurt you bad. It's gonna hurt you good. But, you know, it was worth it. I mean, like, on this channel, you know, not proud playing on Schmemlation. I was able to beat Zelda 2 without a proper controller. Like, is it hard? Yes. Is it as hard as people say? Not really. It can be unforgiving at times. But if you learn how to maximize the way that you play the game, you know, you make it out just fine. But last thing I'll say, it's why, you know, I mean, like, one of my favorite games for, like, the newer systems was back when was for the 360, was the 2 Left 4 Dead games. Because, like, those were games, like, I had a friend who was, like, a relatively new gamer. Now, me as a kid, growing up, you got a new game, you read the booklet, you got a control, you saw the controls, and you played. Especially because a lot of times, you know, a lot of the games, you know, you just started. The game would drop you off and it was go time. You know? You know, you started playing GoldenEye, there was no tutorial. It was fucking level 1, go. And that was it. So, you know, I had a friend who, you know, always like, oh, I don't care about that shit. But, you know, he didn't play a lot of games that were like really like an old school mindset sort of game. I remember him getting the first Left 4 Dead game when it came out, and I remember him being like, all right, listen, I need you to read the booklet, because this game just starts you off, and it's go time. And I remember just laughing, being like, all right, bro, all right, cool. Like, I was fine with it. But, you know, it was a game where it was made much more like, all right, this is, pick your character, pick your campaign, pick your difficulty, and let's go. There was no, like, trim, there was no fat, and the game could be fucking brutal. You know, it didn't pull any punches. I don't know, I'm just rambling at this point. There's not really much sense to what I'm saying now. I'm not saying gaming sucks now, but it was just talking and thinking about when and why gaming kind of changed, and seeing how, like, you know, the company that I care about, Nintendo, seeing how they kind of went with the changes. Because, I mean, you know, the N64 was still pretty successful, not as successful as the PS1, but still not like a failure. The GameCube was a little bit more so, it didn't sell as well, it was kind of on the downturn. And I believe because of, like, especially at launch, I believe the Wii did better than the GameCube, but it didn't have the lasting impression that I think anybody wanted. The Wii U definitely didn't. But, you know, it was interesting to see how Nintendo, like, kind of tried to shift more into, like, doing their own thing. And, you know, I think that's why I've always respected them as a company, and why I always like them. And I'm not saying that there's, you know, people like everybody at, you know, PlayStation and Sony are all just fucking, or PlayStation and Sony, fucking Sony and Microsoft are just, riding waves of like what's popular. But like that those are much more like mainstream marketed games. I mean, Nintendo's got their blockbusters. They come out with a Mario game or a Zelda game, fucking everybody listens. Now because Metroidvanias as a genre have gotten a lot bigger. Metroid Prime Remaster got a lot of heads like, ooh. Especially because Metroid Dread actually did relatively well. So like, there's a lot of success still going around for a lot of these old series. And honestly, I'm not going to lie. Now I'm in my 30s, and I hope a lot of these series stay around for as long as I'm fucking alive. Because, like, they don't. It's not like I'll ever run out of games to play. But, I enjoy having a sect of gaming that is still made for people who want that old magic still. That thing that just doesn't seem like it exists as much anymore. Just because, like every other art form, once it gets popular, it changes. That's everything. You look at when fucking heavy metal first got really popular, all the big name bands were all the fucking big bangers. Your Black Sabbaths, your Judas Priests, all that shit. Then as it got popular, thrash metal came out. That got popular. Thrash metal kind of did its own thing. But heavy metal got popular, and then it kind of went to like hair metal a little bit, where it just became everybody had like the same image, the same style, the same sound. Like everything just kind of became like all carbon copies of one another. And that's a lot of all art forms are like that, and video gaming is no different. It got popular, and now it appeals to a different consumer base now. It's not made for the same, nerdy kids, the same 7 of us who could talk to each other about gaming out of, a graduating class of, 100 at our elementary school. Now it's meant to appeal to, 65 to 70 out of those 100 kids. And now, those same 7 kids that I was friends, 6 outside of me, those same 6 kids that I could talk with would still be there, and we'd still be playing the same games we'd be playing. But we wouldn't be the market. I mean, we're just not anymore, and that's something that you just got to live with. As things change, we are not the stars anymore. Now it's other genres and other shit. Fucking look at how big Fortnite is. All these big, massive multiplayer games. Single player games right now. Like that big trend is fucking open world gaming right now. That shit's all the rage. And bro, like I made this known when I played through the original Zelda, when I replayed it, like for me the first time in nearly 10 years, where it was like, this is still fun, I still enjoy it, but for me, honestly, I still don't like open world games. I don't like them in early old school gaming. I don't really like them now. I just meh on all that. I get the appeal. I get why you would want to just be dropped in a world and explore, but like, I like a little more. That's why I think Zelda 2 is better than Zelda 1. I will take Adventure of Link over The Legend of Zelda. Any day. But yeah, that's it. I'm done ranting. I was glad to get to play a little bit of 2 games today. I don't often get to double up, especially because, I'm watching Naruto, I'm watching One Piece, I'm playing, I gotta do my other shit. It's a whole thing. I got all my hobbies. Soon I got other shows that I'm gonna be picking up and starting to watch so much. But, yeah, I'll talk to you later, guys. Peace.